The world pointed to the numbers and said, "You are poor." But the heavens, unmoved by man's illusion, whispered, "You are wealthy, beyond measure." They told me to hustle, to strive, to sacrifice my soul on the altar of performance. But Spirit leaned in gently and said, "Stand still and speak. The mountain will move when your mouth moves." I was not born to labor under the tyranny of visibility. I was born to govern the unseen. I was not called to chase riches. I was called to command them, and so are you. You may think you've come here to learn how to become a millionaire, but I must tell you the higher truth. You already are, not in the future, not one day, not when the numbers add up or the world agrees. You are already a multi-millionaire in the kingdom that cannot be seen, and it is only waiting for your word to give it form. You do not become what you speak. You reveal what already is. Every contract, every client, every miracle, every divine deposit already exists in the invisible vault called Word. I did not hustle it. I did not earn it. I did not negotiate for it. I spoke it. And it arrived under grace in perfect timing, in ways no mind could have orchestrated. When I say, I am a multi-millionaire, I am not making a wish. I am not casting a vision. I am invoking the name of God. I am that I am, the Lord said to Moses, not a riddle, a legal decree, not poetry, protocol, not metaphor, mandate. It is the password that parts seas, the code that unlocks storehouses, the royal seal that governs worlds. When you say, I am, you are not describing your circumstance. You are activating your eternal assignment. You are stepping into your ordained essence, not what the world has named you, not what your bank account reflects, but what the Spirit already knows to be unshakably true. You are already rich. You are already resourced. You are already supplied. But your mouth must catch up to heaven. You see, I used to wait. I used to whisper small wishes in the dark, afraid to speak the good too loudly, afraid I'd be disappointed. I thought faith was quiet. I thought wealth was earned. I thought I had to chase God down, but I was wrong. I learned that faith is not silence. It is sound. I learned that wealth is not earned. It is decreed. I learned that God was never the one holding it back. God was simply waiting for my voice to give permission. And when I finally spoke, not from desperation, not from fear, not from emotional strain, but from dominion, everything changed. Money came. Doors opened. People wrote checks. Debts disappeared. The impossible bent at the knees. Why? Because I said one holy, fire-laced sentence. I am a multi-millionaire by divine right. My supply is here now. Let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich. Not because it looks true, but because it is truth. Your word is not a suggestion. It is a verdict. It is the gavel in the court of heaven, and every element obeys it. Your word is your wand. Wave it over lack and watch it dissolve. Wave it over fear and watch it bow. Wave it over your wallet and watch it remember. Because the supply is not missing. The decree is. I say this once, and I say it with holy fire. The money you are waiting for is waiting for your mouth. It will not come until you command it. It will not move until you speak like one who already has it. You were not created to hustle for crumbs. You were created to legislate the kingdom, and the throne of your dominion is your tongue. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee. That is not poetry. That is legal statute. So speak with me now, not later, not softly, not someday. I am a multi-millionaire by divine law. The supply is mine now. The substance obeys my word. I speak it into law, and so it is. Are you ready? Then walk with me. Not in emotion, not in pleading, but in power. The world is about to witness your rise because you opened your mouth and spoke, not from want, from law, not from fear, from fire, not from doubt, from decree. Poverty is not a circumstance. It is a confession. A spell repeated so many times, the magician forgets she was the one who cast it. You're not broke. You're bewitched. Every time you say, I can't afford it. Every time you whisper, I don't know how. Every time you sigh, I'm trying. You water the weeds. You strengthen the illusion. You build a house out of vapor and wonder why it keeps collapsing. But I tell you now with sacred certainty, it is not the absence of money, but the misuse of your mouth that sustains your bondage. The world does not respond to your need. It responds to your word. You were not made in the image of one who hustled. You were formed in the image of one who spoke, "Let there be light." And there was. That same divine rhythm is encoded in your very being. You were given the same mouth, the same breath, the same blueprint. But instead of using it to call forth what is holy, you've been using it to confirm what is haunting. You say what you fear. You declare what you dread. You repeat what you resist. And then you wonder why it multiplies. You are not cursed. You are creative. You are not blocked. You are broadcasting the wrong signal. But that ends today. Because I came to remind you, you are not too late. You are not too small. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are the voice heaven has been waiting to echo. You are the royal speaker of the treasury. You are the steward of divine riches. You are the mouthpiece of the miraculous, and you must speak accordingly. This is the moment. This is the line in the spirit. This is the hour the old voice goes silent. No more describing your bills. Start decreeing your surplus. No more narrating the struggle. Start. Legislating the wealth. No more waiting for evidence. Start authoring it. Because the throne responds not to wishers but to speakers. Say it. Say it with holy rhythm. Say it like it's already law. Say it like heaven is listening, because it is. There is no delay in heaven, only in the declarations of man. And the moment I understood that my words held legal authority in the courtrooms of the invisible, I stopped waiting. I stopped hoping. I stopped begging for what was already mine. I realized my wealth was not hiding. It was hovering, waiting for the atmosphere of permission, waiting for the sound of divine remembrance, waiting for the gate of my mouth to open with command. And when I spoke, not emotionally, not hypothetically, but lawfully, everything shifted. I said, I am a multimillionaire by divine decree. And though nothing appeared at first in the visible, everything reordered in the invisible. Old debts dissolved, clients returned without prompting, opportunities surfaced from forgotten places, checks were written, refunds arrived, and doors swung wide that no hand had touched. Why? Because I no longer whispered from lack, I declared from law. Your first million is not in your job, it's not in your bank, it's not in your budget, it's in your mouth. The law responds to one thing, the spoken word, not the emotion, not the grind, not the hope, but the utterance, the decree, the sound of spiritual authority rising through human form. I stopped waiting for the day I'd feel rich. I started speaking like the one who already is, and so must you, because the throne room is not moved by your tears. It is moved by your tongue. You do not earn the wealth. You legalize it. You do not chase the millions. You summon them. The money is not held back by timing. It is waiting for your voice to sign the order. Say it now, not softly, not questionably, not religiously, but with sacred clarity. My wealth begins in my mouth. I speak it into law. I speak it into form. I speak it into motion. And I speak until it appears. Your voice is the conductor. Your word is the code. Your declaration is the construction site. And the universe is simply obeying the blueprint you've released. If you speak scarcity, lack will multiply. If you speak delay, time will stretch endlessly. If you speak confusion, your clarity will hide. But when you speak supply, supply must arrive, and not someday. Now say it again. My first million is already complete in spirit. My decree makes it visible. My word is law. You are not chasing anything. You are commanding everything. You are not hoping the opportunity finds you. You are summoning it by name. You are not describing reality. You are authoring it. And let me tell you what will always be true. Whether you accept it or not, nothing begins until the word is spoken, not the bank deposit, not the favor, not the surprise check, not the divine appointment. It begins with the decree, because nothing on earth is formed without the word. In the beginning was the word, and it remains the beginning now. Before the money comes, there is a sentence. Before the door opens, there is a decree. Before the supply floods, there is a sound. So what have you been saying? Are you narrating your lack, or are you legislating your abundance? Are you repeating your past, or are you revealing your identity? You are not a slave to your circumstance. You are the architect of your atmosphere, and every sentence is a seed. Speak wisely, speak richly, speak as one whose voice is known in the halls of heaven. The treasury does not answer to silence. It answers to command. It does not move for wishes. It moves for words. So say it. I am a legislator of divine wealth. I am a mouthpiece of supernatural supply. My tongue is a throne, and my sentence is sovereign. You do not need the approval of the economy. You do not need perfect timing. You do not need credentials. You need a decree. And once the decree is spoken, the wheels turn. The channels open. The angels move, not slowly, not reluctantly, but with the force of divine law. You do not speak to motivate. You speak to initiate. You do not speak to feel good. You speak to govern. You do not speak to test. You speak to transform. This is not wishful thinking. This is not mindset coaching. This is not law of attraction fluff. This is metaphysical legislation, and your mouth is the courtroom. What you say becomes the climate of your life, and what you repeat becomes the structure of your wealth. This is why I began every morning not with coffee, not with to-do lists, not with self-doubt, but with law. I would wake and decree. I am a multi-millionaire by divine right. My channels are open. My wealth flows now. And though at first the numbers didn't change, my vibration did. My rhythm changed. My reality began to bend. Because I was no longer waiting for change. I was the change. You must understand this. Your bank account is just a mirror, and your words are the artist's brush. If the mirror keeps showing lack, don't try to clean the glass. Change the brush. Change the decree. Stop rehearsing the deficit. Start reprogramming the wealth. You are not here to describe your storm. You are here to calm it. You are not here to wait for riches. You are here to remember them. You are not here to be polite with limitation. You are here to confront it with truth. You do not need to convince God. You need to align with God. And God does not operate in maybe. God operates in let there be. So let it be this day, that your word carries weight. Let it be this hour, that your mouth becomes sacred architecture. Let it be this moment, that your decree becomes the new law of your life. Say it again. I am the legislator of wealth. My voice governs my prosperity. My decree is my delivery. No more passive speaking. No more timid affirmations. No more waiting to feel worthy. You are already worthy. You are already chosen. You are already supplied. Now speak like it. Let me tell you something most never grasp. The law does not care how you feel. The law responds to what you say. It does not require you to be inspired. It requires you to be aligned. It does not wait for your emotional approval. It waits for your vocal agreement. I've spoken decrees that shook the heavens, not because I was confident, but because I was convinced, even when my voice trembled, even when the account was low, even when the evidence said otherwise. Because the law does not ask, do you feel wealthy today? It only asks, have you spoken as one who is? And when I began to speak not from how I felt, but from who I am. Miracles bent around my voice. Money arrived as if on cue. Provision met me mid-sentence. Because dominion is not emotional, it is structural. It is encoded in the word. And when spoken, it moves substance like a hand parts the sea. There were mornings I didn't feel rich, evenings I felt forgotten, days I felt like a fool saying, I am a multimillionaire by divine law. But I said it anyway, and I'll tell you why. Because your tongue is not a thermometer. It is a thermostat. You don't speak to report the temperature. You speak to set it. You don't speak based on what is. You speak to establish what must be. Emotion will betray you. It will rise and fall like waves. But the word, oh beloved, the word is the ocean floor, unshaken, unmoved, unbothered by appearances. And this is why those who build their wealth on motivation collapse in storms. But those who build it on decree remain unshakable. You see, my most powerful declarations were not the ones I felt deeply. They were the ones I chose to say despite how I felt. I said, money flows to me richly, rapidly, repeatedly, when I hadn't seen a deposit in weeks. I said, I am the steward of divine riches, when my wallet echoed otherwise. I said, my supply is endless, when my inbox was empty and the bills stared back. Not because I was in denial, but because I had decided to speak from law, not from logic. I had decided to honor truth over circumstance. I had chosen to treat my voice like the scepter of heaven, not the puppet of fear. You are not here to describe what is happening. You are here to declare what will happen. You are not here to explain the delay. You are here to end it. You are not here to confirm appearances. You are here to command the invisible. When Jesus said to the sea, peace, be still, he didn't ask the storm how it felt. He didn't negotiate with the wind. He didn't wait for a sign. He spoke from dominion, from the I am, from the throne of unshakable authority. And so must you. You are not here to shout over the storm. You are here to silence it with the sentence of law. You are not here to explain your circumstances. You are here to overwrite them. You are not here to observe the world. You are here to govern it with your voice. And every time you let emotion choose your vocabulary, you delay the manifestation. You think you're being honest, but really, you're being disloyal to your own power. So here is your covenant. I no longer speak from emotion. I speak from eternal truth. I no longer wait to feel it. I command it. I no longer mirror the world. I mold it. Because your wealth is not the reward of good feelings. It is the response to spoken alignment. Say it now. I am wealthy, not because I feel it, but because I've spoken it, and what I say becomes. You are not here to rehearse old patterns. You are here to reprogram creation. You are not here to be loyal to fear. You are here to walk in the laws of divine identity. This is not affirmation. This is legislation. This is not repetition for positivity's sake. This is repetition for atmospheric reordering. The law moves where the decree is repeated. So even if it's day 1 or day 91, you speak. Even when the resistance rises, you speak. Even when nothing seems to be changing, you speak. Not to get something, but to govern everything. Because when your word is law, the world must follow. There came a time when I stopped narrating my bills. I stopped saying, this is too much. I stopped muttering, how will I pay this? I stopped calling it stress, strain, or struggle, because I realized something holy. Every bill is not a burden. It is a test of dominion. It is not the enemy. It is an opportunity. It is not proof of lack. It is the perfect canvas upon which to paint your decree. I remember the shift. The morning I looked at a bill on my table, and instead of sighing, instead of panicking, instead of reacting, I spoke, not to describe it, but to govern it. I laid my hand upon the paper and said with a calm fire, this is not my bill, this is God's bill, and God is never late. and the atmosphere changed. Because what most don't understand is this: when you speak about the bill, you give it power. But when you speak to the bill, you take your power back. The bill is not your master. It is not your measure. It is not your prophecy. It is a temporary appearance, waiting for a permanent word. And the moment I stopped saying, "I don't know how this will get paid," and started saying, "My supply meets this with ease," heaven rushed in. Not because I worked harder, not because I found a new strategy, but because I finally remembered my role: to legislate, not to labor. You are not here to be enslaved by due dates. You are here to declare divine order over all obligations. So say it with me now: this bill is already paid. This amount is already met. Divine substance fulfills every need before the deadline, and I walk in total ease. This is not denial. This is dominion. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is sacred commanding. Because let me tell you what money responds to: not fear, not budgeting apps, not even excellent effort, but word. The bill is not a demand, it is a door, and the password is your decree. You can cry over it, or you can command it. One leads to delay, the other leads to demonstration. You see, the world will tell you that bills are facts, undeniable, heavy, stressful. But I came to tell you a greater truth. They are assignments, waiting for alignment. They are pieces of paper awaiting prophecy, and the moment you speak law over them, they must bow. I have seen it happen with my own eyes. A woman stood, rent due in days, no payment in sight, no promised help, no check on the way, but instead of crumbling, she declared, "This is God's rent. Divine substance pays all obligations. I cannot be separate from my supply." And day by day she refused to shift her decree. No begging, no bargaining, just belief, spoken aloud. And on the final day, a check arrived from a long-forgotten source. Exact amount, exact timing, effortless grace. Coincidence? Number. It was the law responding to authority. You must understand, the money was never the problem. The delay was never denial. The issue was never the bill. The only delay was in the mouth that had not yet commanded. So I ask you now, what bill are you looking at with fear? And what will you say to it? Not think, not worry, not stress. Say, because the spoken word builds the unseen path. Do not ask how, declare that it is. Do not rehearse the amount, prophesy the provision, and do not speak from panic. Speak from the posture of one seated with Christ in heavenly places, because when you decree from your throne, the bill becomes your servant, not your God. Say it with me now. Thank you, God, that this bill is evidence of expansion. Thank you, God, that this amount is already met. I bless this invoice. I release it into the treasury, and I walk in peace. You don't have to hustle. You have to harmonize. You don't have to figure it out. You have to align with what's already been worked out. The supply isn't far, it's circling, waiting for your word to land. And the bill? It's not your burden, it's your altar. Lay your faith on it. Speak your decree over it. Treat it like an invitation to remember. You are sourced by heaven, not limited by man. And every time you rise and speak with power, every time you lay your hands upon what once frightened you and speak peace, speak payment, speak provision, you reorder the spiritual architecture. The channels open, the checks come, the delay dissolves, the stress vanishes. Why? Because you stopped being loyal to fear and became loyal to your voice. This is not a gimmick. This is a governing principle. Speak to the bill. Decree over the due date. Legislate over the ledger. Let every sentence you utter become the scepter of wealth. Let every word you say become the gate through which divine supply walks. There is a law more dangerous than poverty, more destructive than lack, more sabotaging than a low bank balance, and that law is called inner contradiction. It is the hidden enemy of every spoken decree. It is the spiritual leak in the pipe of your power. It is the unseen reversal that happens not in public, but in private, in the echo chamber of your own inner voice. You may say, I am wealthy. You may declare, all my needs are met. But what do you mutter when the email doesn't come? What do you whisper when the bill arrives late at night? What do you say beneath your breath when the phone is silent? Because that, right there, is where the contradiction begins. You decree by day, you doubt by night, you prophesy in the morning, you panic by noon, you plant your seed, and then dig it up with fear, sarcasm, complaint, or comparison, and then you wonder why it hasn't grown. But beloved, hear this. The law of wealth is not activated by emotion. It is sustained by congruence. Heaven doesn't ask how passionate your affirmation was. It asks how consistent your identity is. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, and instability delays demonstration. You cannot say, money flows to me, and then say, everything is so expensive. You cannot declare, I am a multimillionaire, and then joke, I'm just trying to survive. You cannot speak law in the light and speak lack in the shadows. Your words must match your walk. Your declarations must match your decisions. Your identity must be single, not split. So I tell you now, with the gravity of heaven behind me, cancel nothing with fear. Rehearse no contradiction. Fear will dress itself in logic. It will disguise itself as realism. It will whisper, just be practical. But make no mistake, fear is a thief. It will hijack your harvest before it matures. So when the voice of doubt creeps in, when it says, what if this doesn't work? You say, it already has. The wealth is on its way now. When it says, you're behind, you reply, I am in divine alignment, and nothing is late. When it hisses, there's not enough, you declare, my source is infinite. I overflow. You don't debate with fear. You don't consult with doubt. You overrule them with decree. Because your subconscious cannot discern sarcasm. Your spirit cannot build on split signals. And divine law cannot manifest where you've allowed contradiction to remain. This is why I call it spiritual hygiene. Not just what you say out loud, but what you allow to live in the temple of your inner voice. So say it now, with clarity, with command, with covenant. I cancel nothing with fear. I water every word with faith. I rehearse no contradiction. My decree is whole, my vibration is clean, and my harvest is guaranteed. You must understand, it is not always what you do publicly that builds wealth. It is what you say when no one is watching. It is the thoughts you do not entertain. It is the sarcasm you refuse to speak. It is the silent agreement you never sign. Every sentence you speak is a spiritual assignment, and every careless word builds what you never meant to create. So ask yourself, would I want this sentence multiplied? Would I want this vibration to become my environment? If not, it has no place on your tongue. Speak only what you want to hold. Declare only what you want to dwell in. Rehearse only what you want your children to inherit. Because your words do not just shape your money, they shape your lineage. You may think you're joking, but heaven does not laugh at lack. You may say, I was just being real, but divine law only responds to what is eternally true. And truth is this, you are not broke, you are not behind, you are not cursed, you are not forgotten, you are the steward of divine wealth. You are the chosen mouthpiece of supernatural provision. You are the one who was sent to rewrite the narrative of lack. So from this moment on, make it your vow. I will speak with reverence. I will decree without contradiction. I will cancel nothing with fear. I will rehearse no prophecy I do not want fulfilled. Let this be your mantle. Let this be your rhythm. Let this be your wealth protocol. Because the treasury is already moving, it is already responding, but it will not deliver to a divided address. It is listening for one voice, a unified voice, a voice that matches heaven's frequency. So say it again, not with emotion but with dominion. I cancel nothing with fear. I water every word with faith. And all that I've spoken in truth now rushes toward me under grace, in perfect ways. There comes a moment in every awakened soul's journey when the question is no longer, what do I need to do to get rich? But instead, who must I become to stop contradicting my own wealth? Because, beloved, the universe is not responding to your efforts. It is responding to your identity. Your supply is not held up by timing. It is held up by how you see yourself, how you name yourself, how you decree yourself. And if your words do not know who you are, your bank account never will. Before heaven multiplies money, it first asks, who is speaking? And if you answer with uncertainty, with apology, with a false humility of playing small, then wealth will keep waiting. Provision will keep circling. The gates will remain unopened. Not because God said no, but because you never stood in your yes. Let us go back to the first law, the origin. When Moses asked the divine, "Who shall I say sent me?" the answer was not a title, not a resume, not a plan. The answer was, I am that I am. Not I might, be not I hope to be. Not I'll prove it when the miracles arrive. I am, the eternal code, the original decree, the vibration from which all things are made. And if you are made in that image, then so must your declarations be. When you say, I am wealthy, you are not describing your mood. You are activating your blueprint. You are establishing yourself as a generator of form, as the voice that substance obeys. Because your wealth does not begin with visibility. It begins with vocality. Say it again, slowly, boldly. I am divine wealth. I am the visible expression of invisible supply. I am the steward of supernatural provision. And don't just say it when it feels safe. Say it when it feels ridiculous. Say it when the bills are loud. Say it when the numbers don't yet agree. Say it until it becomes the only truth you answer to. Because the world will keep trying to give you names. Struggling artist, single parent, hardworking but unlucky, survivor. And every time you answer to those names, you prolong the story you were born to exit. Identity is not discovered. It is declared. No angel will descend to crown you queen. No committee will rise to approve your sovereignty. You must say it. You must say it first, and the rest will follow. This is why many remain in cycles. They try to earn their way into wealth without ever renaming themselves. But I tell you now, you cannot walk into riches with the vocabulary of a victim. You cannot decree increase while describing yourself as barely making it. You cannot enter the kingdom of overflow while repeating the names your trauma gave you. So from this moment on, you must refuse to speak any name that heaven does not recognize. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not stuck. You are not disqualified. You are crowned in the invisible. You are known in the treasury. You are written into the book of divine wealth. And your decree is the signature that activates the inheritance. So say it now, not with hope, but with heavenly fire. I am the wealth of God in human form. I am the overflow of the kingdom made visible. I am the one who calls money by name, and it obeys. Let that be the sound that vibrates in your home. Let that be the language that echoes in your mirror. Let that be the decree that replaces every old story you were tricked into believing. Because you are not broke. You are not trying. You are not chasing. You are being. You are birthing. You are becoming what already is. And when you align with the eternal identity, you cannot be late. You cannot miss it. You cannot be denied. Why? Because law does not bow to appearance. Law bows to identity. Law bows to the I am. So say it until it becomes your spiritual GPS. I am already there. I am already it. I am already wealthy. I'm by identity, not by evidence. Because the money was never outside you. The gate was never locked. The vault was never closed. It was always your word that opened it. It is not ego to declare yourself rich. It is error to pretend you are not. You are not waiting for proof. You are the proof. You are the mouth through which heaven speaks. You are the architect of your financial reality. Say it again until your bones believe it. I am not becoming wealthy. I am already wealth in motion. My word is the signature of divine inheritance. I speak accordingly. There's a lie that has circled the minds of the chosen for far too long. A lie that says, you must become more worthy. You must earn the overflow. You must fix yourself before heaven can find you. But listen closely, beloved. Heaven is not waiting on your perfection. Heaven is waiting on your permission. It's not your wounds that delay the wealth. It's your hesitation to speak as one who's already worthy. Worthiness is not earned. It is remembered. It is not achieved through striving. It is reclaimed through speaking. You were worthy before the world said otherwise, before the family patterns, before the bank account, before the heartbreak, before the failures you call proof. None of it altered your worth. It only distracted you from your voice. And your voice is the gate. Your voice is the law. Your voice is the invitation to wealth that was always listening. Because God never asked, have you done enough? God only asks, have you agreed with what I already said about you? And what did God say? You are the head, not the tail. You are the lender, not the borrower. You are the light of the world. You are the vessel of divine expression. You are the heir of abundance. Heaven has already spoken, but the earth waits for you to echo it. So why hesitate? Why delay the decree? Why shrink when asked to speak in divine identity? Is it guilt? Is it shame? Is it the lie of unworthiness masquerading as humility? Let me say this with holy clarity. You do not honor God by playing small. You do not impress heaven by dimming your decree. Your hesitation is not humility. It is rejection of the gift. When you downplay your abundance, you contradict your inheritance. When you delay your declaration, you deny your own throne. You were never meant to tiptoe into wealth. You were born to stand in it. So from this moment on, let your worthiness be non-negotiable. Let your words carry the weight of your divine name. Let your decree be loud, unapologetic, undeniable. Say it with me now. I am worthy of divine wealth, not because of what I've done, but because of who I am. I do not negotiate with lack. I do not audition for overflow. I am already chosen, and my voice confirms my identity. You see, every time you hesitate to speak wealth aloud, you give energy to lack. You say, in silence, I don't believe I'm ready. But the truth is, you've always been ready. You were born ready. The only delay is the distance between who you are and who you allow yourself to sound like. So today, close the gap. Sound like the one who already has. Speak like the one who is already trusted with millions. Declare like one who knows, not hopes. She is the voice of divine abundance. Because worthiness is not a reward. It is the origin. Say it again and let it echo in every room of your mind. I am worthy now. My supply responds to my sentence. My voice is the proof that I belong in overflow, and I speak accordingly. Let this become your new default. No more disclaimers. No more hopefully. No more muting your declarations to sound polite. The kingdom is not built by those who whisper blessings in secret. It is built by those who speak like they belong there. And beloved, you do. There comes a time when your declaration is not just a beginning. It is a boundary. When you say, I am wealthy by divine law, you are not just building something. You are guarding it. Because every decree sends a signal, and every signal calls forward both opportunity and opposition. Not because the law is fragile, but because your conviction must be made fireproof. When you speak, the universe says, "So be it." But the shadows echo back, "Are you sure?" The noise of the old timeline returns. The opinions of others resurface. The patterns you once broke try to knock again, not to destroy your decree, but to see if you'll keep it. Because here is a truth too few are prepared for. The moment you declare a new identity, you must defend it. Not in fear, not in aggression, but in spiritual loyalty. You must be loyal to the voice of your wealth, even when the voice of your past gets loud again. You must hold your frequency, even when the numbers haven't moved. You must honor your spoken law, even when the visible world hasn't caught up. Because what you decree, you must not revoke. You must not water it down. You must not reverse it with sarcasm. You must not apologize for it to make others comfortable. You must defend it like a sacred altar, like a gate you do not let anything unclean walk through. And defending your decree looks like this. It means turning away from conversations that contradict your wealth. It means declining the drama of financial fear. It means refusing to participate in struggle culture. It means holding your peace in rooms where scarcity is the dominant belief. Because you can't say, "I am wealthy," and then laugh along when someone says, "We're all broke out here." You can't say, "Money comes easily to me," and then entertain gossip that normalizes survival. You can't speak as royalty and then engage as if you're still begging the universe for crumbs. So hear this, beloved. Your decree is not just poetic. It is protective. Every time you speak in alignment, you build a wall of energy around your new reality. Every time you stay silent when fear tempts your tongue, you reinforce your throne. And when someone tries to project their scarcity onto you, you don't argue. You don't explain. You simply return to your statement. That may be your truth, but in my world, supply flows on schedule. Wealth obeys my voice. Because your reality is not built by their disbelief. It is built by your decree. And if you abandon it every time comfort is threatened, you delay the very thing you claimed. So from this moment forward, be unapologetic about your voice. Be loyal to your law. Be sovereign in your speech. Say it now, with fierce elegance. What I decree, I defend. What I speak, I protect. I do not edit my abundance to fit others' fear. I do not shrink my sentence to soothe the room. I stand by my word, because heaven already does. Let this be your code. Let this be your posture. Let this be your rhythm of royalty, because every time you speak, you are not just describing yourself. You are authorizing creation. And what you authorize, you are responsible for stewarding. Your words are contracts. Your voice is a seal, and your frequency is the signature. So no more casual decrees, no more identity slips, no more rehearsing the contradiction out of habit. If you say you're rich, live like the one who expects overflow. If you say you're chosen, walk like the one who never questions timing. If you say you're governed by divine law, then defend your peace like it is non-negotiable. Because it is. Your spoken reality must become the ground you refuse to abandon, the throne you do not step down from, the vibration you do not leak, the sentence you do not revoke, even when no one claps for it, because wealth does not respond to applause. It responds to alignment. Say it one more time. I do not speak as a test, I speak as a truth, and what I decree, I defend, because it is already written in heaven. There is a whisper that haunts the minds of those who decree boldly, a quiet echo that says, "Where is it? Why hasn't it happened yet? Did the universe forget me?" But listen, beloved, and listen well. Delay is not real. Delay is an illusion of time created by a soul still learning to trust its own voice. Because the moment you said, "I am wealthy," the wealth was assigned. The moment you decreed, "I live in overflow," the blueprint was activated. There was no hesitation in heaven. There was no confusion in the laws of creation. The only pause is in your perception, not in spirit, not in source, not in the divine dispatch of supply. So what feels like a delay is often just the time it takes for you to speak with unshakable present tense authority. You see, the universe does not understand someday. It does not respond to hopefully. It cannot decode eventually. It only knows the sound of already. Already mine, already done, already received. This is why the masters speak not with hope, but with certainty. This is why the language of the rich in spirit is not, I'm waiting for it to happen, but it is already so. Because what you speak from is what you pull from. If you speak from delay, delay continues. If you speak from distance, distance grows. But when you speak as if the thing is here, the thing comes near, not because you forced it, but because your voice built a landing strip for it. Say it now. In full spiritual authority, it is already done. The wealth is here. The evidence is catching up to the decree. That is not delusion. That is dominion. You are not ignoring reality. You are revealing the higher one. You are not bypassing time. You are bending it. Because your sentence does not wait for permission from the clock. It creates its own rhythm, its own calendar, its own delivery date. And here is the deeper truth. Delay is not punishment. It is a mirror. It shows you where you still negotiate with fear, where you still hope instead of declare, where you still describe instead of design. So instead of asking, why hasn't it come? Ask, where have I still made waiting my identity? Because those who know it's done do not chase, do not force, do not beg. They prepare. They make space. They walk in readiness. They speak in present tense. They say, thank you, God, for what's already mine. Thank you, Spirit, for the manifestation already unfolding. I bless the delivery. I bless the now. This is the difference between those who talk about faith and those who walk in faith. The talkers say, I believe it's coming. The walkers say, it's already here. I'm just greeting it in form. And the form arrives, not out of striving, but because the sound of truth became louder than the sound of lack. So from this day forward, speak only what affirms its presence. Say it before it shows. Say it before it's verified. Say it before your senses can see it. Because the spoken word creates what the eyes will soon confirm. You are not waiting. You are witnessing. You are not begging. You are beholding. You are not in delay. You are in delivery. Say it again, with joy this time. There is no delay. I walk in divine timing. My wealth is already here, and I speak accordingly. Let this be your posture now. Let this be your prayer. Let this be the vibration that replaces every question, every fear, every false story of postponement. There is no delay in the kingdom. There is only the next moment where you finally speak with the certainty of one who has already received. So welcome it, name it, bless it, and let your mouth become the place where time collapses and miracles appear. Here is part 10 of your poetic, spiritually refined script, Wakas, continuing the sacred transmission with divine clarity and prophetic rhythm. You have spoken it in. You have called it by name. You have declared the overflow. You have summoned the supply. But now, you must honor it. Because what you call in with your mouth must also be called sacred with your energy. You cannot declare divine wealth, then treat it as ordinary. You cannot summon overflow, then act as if it's still survival. You cannot say, I am rich, and then handle money with fear, guilt, or dismissal. The frequency you hold must match the reverence of the request you made, because money is not just currency, it is confirmation. It is the visible agreement that your word has been heard, that your decree has taken form, that the invisible became touchable because you remembered who you were. So treat it that way. When money arrives, Even in small amounts, bless it. Do not say, "It's not enough." Say, "Thank you, God. This is the beginning of the floodgate.